Okay, welcome back. Now we said we're going to talk about the national conference and looking at all the sides to this conversation. Initially, it was thought to be just a confab, a conversation about a dialogue was the name that it was tagged with, and then suddenly it's being thought through. A lot of people have met with the team, the committee that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria put together, and then is now being tagged a national conference, not several national conference, not any other kind of conference or conversation, a national conference. Well, the federal government has released modalities for the selection of 492 delegates. On Thursday, this was done. During the course of this week, we had Senator Femi Okoromo on Sunrise Daily, and he talked about what the federal government is planning to do and the reason for those people that were selected. But this morning, we'll have more in-depth conversation with our group of guests in the House to look at all the sides to this expected national conference. In the studio this morning, I'll start from my right, Professor Akpan Ekpo, who is the Director General of West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
And on the other side, on the left-hand side, the man you've just seen a second ago is Charles Majoroh, who is the former president, Nigeria Institute of Architects and African Union of Architects. Good morning and welcome.
Morning and welcome as well.
Well, I might as well start with you because this is an architectural design, this national conference. Because we've got 492 people expected to be nominated, selected, appointed to be part of the conversation. And look at that number. How do you get 492 people to sit down and have the conversation? The modalities I'm not sure. But let me quickly mention that a member of the Presidential Advisory Committee on National Dialogue will be joining us hopefully shortly, and that will be Mr. Tony Aranta. We're hoping he will join us soon. He's on his way, I'm told. So let me come back to you, Mr. Majoroh. When you look at what has been said so far, what is your thought about having 492 members of one committee to come up with everything that we need that prepares us for a reviewed constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Well, I don't think numerics are the biggest issues that we should be worried about, given the size of Nigeria and the size of the issues and the challenges that Nigeria has to deal with 225 ethnic groups and so many other or more demographics that you can get involved with. I don't think we should be, numerics should not be the greatest issue. I think the issue should be worried about what are the points I want to talk about, the essence of having a national conference. As we sit here now, there are conferences going on all over the world. Every conflict, every disagreement must end up joining after worldwide. The Syrians are in Geneva, the Taliban are talking to the Pakistanis, even the Scotsmen are having a referendum. Quebec is trying to get away from Canada. You know, everywhere people are talking. If we don't have an avenue for letting off steam for ventilation in any country, where there are anguish and there are problems with minorities thinking that they've not been well treated, resources are being used in manners not totally acceptable to everybody, then we're going to have self-help.
Okay, well, I don't want to dwell on the number, but some people have said that when you have too many cooks, you end up not getting a palatable soup or whatever it is. But in terms of number, though, without dwelling on it, because this is all I'm going to say about it, I'd like to know, how do you get that number?
The 2005 conference had a greater number. The issues of organization. The plenary sessions may have a huge number, but subcommittees will set up issues, and based on issues, based on geographical areas, we would split them into areas of specific core competence and interest. By the time you break 492 into these various facets, you may not even have enough people to deal with the issues. You're going to have a lot of backroom people, resource persons, giving them ideas, searching data, going to the internet and getting facts, unearthing issues that had been discussed before, modulating them, putting them into readable formats for the plenary session. I think we shouldn't really worry about 492. If you have a good chairman, if you have a good organigram, and have a good program, and we are really sure that we want to discuss, and it's very essential that we discuss, kudos to the person who has that idea.
I think you just nailed it on the head for me, because then it makes it easier for Nigerians to see that, for example, if you say that elder statesmen and ex-military, senior military officers, if you form them into a committee that is looking at role of military in the Constitution, then I guess they will be doing a good job, wouldn't they?
Yes, I think the issue is to break these so-called, big crowd into centrifugal forces that will be dealing with their core areas of core competence. The moment you have these core competencies and areas of interest aligned and properly streamlined, you're going to have intensive discussions at those levels. And so at the plenary sessions, which should be now and again, will be areas where people will be reporting to the main house about issues to which they've been assigned. I don't think numerics is an issue.
Okay.